this is Tawny Kitaen. And as a matter of fact, when they took this picture, she had not long before this finished filming the movie Bachelor Party. And we would all go on to know her even more when she would appear on the cover of Ratt's Out of the Cellar, their first album. And she's also the person that everybody knows from those Whitesnake videos, you know, rolling all over the car and whatever. That's Tawny Kitaen. So these legs, that's her. So now when they talk about renting these rats for 50 cents a piece from a kid, when you read Stephen Pearcy's book, he's a little more dramatic about it. And he says what happened is that I think it was a beat up truck pulled up that actually had a sign on the side of it, rent a rat. And they rented these 5 rats to come in here. Now, I don't know if that's really true. This, what he says in this magazine, sounds more accurate, that they got them from some kid for a couple of bucks. But here's the funny part. And they talk about this in the book too. And it's something that I think most of the time when you look at this album cover, you don't notice. Now, the first thing you think is, well, you look at all these light rats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you think, well, that certainly has something to do with the fact that there's 5 guys in the band. Well, if you listen to the book, what happens is Robin, after they finish this shoot, because basically, like I said, in his book, he says, for an amazing hour, Robin and I tossed rats at the hottest chick in Los Angeles. A guy by the name of Neil Zlozower was the photographer, and this was his idea, to have her come in here, put on these stockings, and then basically throw the rats at her strategically so they start climbing on her. Now, where would you have heard of Neil Zlozower before? This is pretty interesting. If you look on the back right here, you'll see his name, photographer Neil Zlozower. Where you would have certainly seen his work and heard his name before is on Van Halen 2. As a matter of fact, you'll see his name right there, photography Neil Zlozower. So these famous photos that you see here, and as one of them that is really, really iconic and famous, is this picture of David Lee Roth there with the bandage. You know the story. We have a whole video where we talk about the story there. Neil Zlozower was this really famous photographer there in Los Angeles, and he had this idea. And they were like, well, don't you want to have our picture on the front of the album? He goes, no. You put your picture on the back of the album. Nobody knows who you guys are. We want to have something like this on the front, something that has this edgy feel to it. Now, here's what I love about this. They have these 5 rats. And then in Stephen's book, he says that when they finished it up, they put the rats back in this little cage. And then Robin says, wasn't it 5 rats? And they go, yeah, it's 5. And he goes, why are there 6 rats in the cage right now? Now, here is what's really awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But one thing that you don't see because it's so kind of dark down there is there's a 6th rat right there. And it's a black rat. In his book, he says when he looked in the cage after they finished, Robin goes, why is there a black rat in there? And then, apparently Neil said something like, well, maybe he lives here, and he just kind of joined the group. But here's what I love about this picture. Because while all these 5 rats are kind of minding their own business, crawling all over legs, this rat is looking at the camera, almost like it's this photobomb. And you got the black rat at the bottom going, I see you. I made it my way into this picture and you didn't even notice. Obviously, a rat's not thinking that, but it just kind of has that feeling to it, like there's this little sinister thing happening in this picture where you've got this photobomb from a rat on Ratt's first EP. I just love that.